All right. Okay. So thank you for your patience. So thank all of you for agreeing to come back and meet with us today. For everyone's benefit who may not know, I'm Nicole Walker. I am the founder and executive director of 3G, a nonprofit here in the DMV that is all about empowering and inspiring girls and women. And over the summer, we had our very first annual I Am 3G scholarship drive, and we had three amazing young ladies to be recipients, and they are Christen, Nyla, and Miss Kai. And so I want to open us up, first of all, let you guys introduce yourselves, tell us who you are, where you graduated from, what college you're attending now, and what your major is.
Hi, my name is Nyla Howell. I graduated from Eleanor Roosevelt High School. I attend UMBC, University of Maryland, Baltimore County, in Baltimore County, Maryland, and I'm double majoring in geographic sciences and sociology.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Christen Carpenter. I'm a 2020 graduate from the Academy of Health Sciences at Prince George's Community College. From there, I was able to obtain my high school diploma and my associate's degree in general studies. I'm currently a freshman at Stevenson University in Owings Mills, Maryland, and my major is computer information systems.
Awesome.
Hello, I'm Kai Merriman. I also graduated from Eleanor Roosevelt High School. I'm currently going to Towson University. I'm a freshman there, and my major is exercise science.
Awesome. Wow. You guys are pretty outstanding. Your majors are great. One of the things that really impressed us about you ladies are not only, of course, your academics, you are all excellent students, but you all seem to have that sense of service and community and a really good head on your shoulders about where you're going in life. And so we were super excited to just play a part in your beginning of your journey. And as we said, when we first talked to you guys in the summer, we're like, we have to come back and talk to you again after your first semester and let us know how things went. So first, tell us, how was the first semester? I know on top of it being your first semester in college, we're also in the middle of a pandemic. So it was probably even more than you all expected. How was the first semester?
So for me, I was lucky enough to actually stay on campus, and then took my classes while all my classes were online. So I would say I kind of got a little bit of the college experience, at least a sense of independence. I really liked my classes. I felt like I was really prepared for like the workload and like techniques for studying, and just ways to retain that information. Um, but it was hard because I mean that required a significant amount of time staying in your room and just putting in a large amount of work just in one area. And I mean there wasn't as much social connection with classmates. That was something I had to like go out of my way to do a lot to just to get to know people and create like study groups and stuff like that. um but yeah, I'd say it went pretty well for like a first semester that wasn't normal.
Yeah, I could totally understand that and relate. So, okay, so that's helpful because I didn't know if the class there you guys were actually going in classrooms or if it was kind of like you're doing your classwork online even though you're at the campus. So that's kind of how they had you starting out. What about you, Kristen?
So my classes were similar. They were online, but I was kind of in my dorm room maybe a week at a time. Most of the time I was home though. My classes it went really well actually. I did not expect it, especially being in the middle of a pandemic, and then for me jumping right into things that were major specific. I was kind of nervous at first because it's like unclaimed territory. You don't really know what to expect, but everything actually went really well.
That's good. So you were fortunate enough to start right out in some of your major courses.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's good. Awesome. All right, Kai.
So I was initially supposed to be on campus and I was there for a week, but then they sent us back home. So all my stuff was fine. I had to repack everything and head on back home. But the classes were good. I met quite a few people, especially in my bio classes because I'm in the honors college, so that some of my classes were really small. Like there's like 12 people in my bio class, which I'd say was my most time-consuming class. I wouldn't say that any of the classes were super hard, which I'm fortunate enough to say, but I met a lot of cool people, especially in my seminar class, my English class, stuff like that. It was really good, but like even sitting in front of the computer all day and trying to stay motivated I'd say was the hardest, but I got through it. It was hard to do clubs and stuff because you just get back on the computer. So it was just kind of like staying in a positive mindset and just like really focusing on what matters and stuff like that. And I guess the main change from high school was that it's just not a set time. Like I have this class at this time and this class at this time. And it's just like I have more time for like I have to really focus on time management and everything. And that was just really interesting, and working on my study habits and everything was a good learning experience.
That's good. You brought up one of the things I wanted to ask you guys about, which kind of all of you touched on a little bit. So I could imagine being in high school. Well, I don't have to imagine. I was in high school not that long ago. But in high school, everything's much more structured. You're going to be in first period, second period, whatever it is at a structured time. How was that transition with that independence? How was that transitioning to college where it wasn't, you had a class at a certain time, but you had so much more free time? How did you ladies navigate that additional free time?
For me, so I had to take like additional planning strategies to make sure that I get the work that I need to get done without overwhelming myself. So I would write down every day, like on Sunday, I would write down everything that I needed to do and then plan out how much I would do for every single day to get it done by a certain date. And that was something I didn't really have to do in high school because we had the same classes every day at the same time and you knew what you had to get done. And you got constant reminders, but in college, you don't get those constant reminders when something's due, it's due. And so that really helped me. And also same thing, like time management was a struggle in the beginning, but I think I really developed those skills this semester, and I've become like way better with managing my time and balancing it with free time and also clubs. So.
That's great.
I 100% agree with that. You really have to focus. You really do. There's no physical class. There's no one there to hold your hand. You have to get your work done, and it's up to you.
Yeah, that's true. That's a big difference. That's always, I think, the biggest challenge going straight to college from high school. It's your parents or your grandparents or the teachers or someone kind of yelling at you to force you to be on task. It's really up to you, and you have to manage that time as best as you can. So I thought you guys gave some good strategies, especially for hopefully some high school students listening, on how you can kind of set up yourself for success. You have to basically set aside time for studying and what you're going to work on and kind of plan out your week. Even if you didn't do that in high school, there's probably some level of time management that's going to be required in order to be successful in college. So I would probably say that's probably something good to start working on your senior year. You guys agree? Okay. So how would you say your content and workload of your college classes compare with your high school classes? And did you feel like your schools, not to throw your schools under the bus, because I know they were all great high schools, but did you feel like they did a great job in preparing you for your first year of college?
So for sorry. So for me, of course, coming from community college, I was kind of already used to the entire the structure. I know personally for Stevenson, they were using the exact same platforms that they use at Prince George's Community College. So that was easier for me to navigate through everything. So I feel like I did have the upper hand there. As opposed to like time management, I'm really into technology, hence my major. But for me, I was using apps, Google Calendars, the calendars that come on your phone. I really wasn't putting used to those in high school, but once I got to college, I kind of realized that I'm gonna need that.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Technology is, and it's probably easier. I know, especially a lot of us have moved away from, I guess, writing down in the planners. Not knocking anybody that still uses planners, but there are so many technological resources literally at our fingertips and on our phone that we have a lot of help to kind of manage ourselves. Nyla and Kai.
So I think the programs that I was in AP Capstone at Eleanor Roosevelt. And so that required a significant amount of writing for the AP test. And I think that definitely prepared me for the amount of writing, whether it was short, like a short essay or like a short reflection or like a research paper. I think that my writing skills were really developed during my junior and senior year. And I think that really helped me make me more confident going into this year. And then also my AP classes I had to take, even though I didn't like all the classes that I had to take, all the AP classes I had to take, but I think that the amount of reading content and learning how to take good notes really um, helped me this year grasp the context I was supposed to learn and do well on tests, and I'll be able to really explain it to other people and see how it relates to our how it plays out in our society. So yeah, I think high school really did prepare me for college.
That's good.
I'd also say that high school prepared me as well, because I was in the science and tech program, and since I'm going into a science-related major, it was just it really helped me a lot, especially knowing that I'm gonna have to do a research paper later as well. I did the RP project, which is research practicum project, I had a whole entire year to develop a project, and I had to do data, and I had like a 35-page paper at the end of it.
Wow.
So that was really interesting. It was really got me into writing a lot more. I think I really improved in my writing. So especially since it focused more on science, I improved a lot in like everything other than English, because to write a science-based paper and an English-based paper is two completely different things. Same thing with history and everything like that. They look at different things, but I found it much easier to do a lot of the research papers, and there's a lot of writing this semester, but I felt like I was really up for it. I didn't none of the papers that I had to do really what is it? I don't want to say they did challenge me, but they didn't really intimidate me in a sense, because I think that high school really did prepare me for that, especially since I have to take a lot of those classes. They required me to take like physics and advanced math classes and stuff like that, which I will be taking again in college, but it's just nice to have that basis and be able to explore a lot of the science classes in high school and then get a foundation, which I'm really glad that I got to have that experience in high school.
That's excellent. That's good. I am glad to hear, as a graduate of Prince George's County schools as well. So I'm happy to hear that each of you ladies felt like your schools actually prepared you for college. And Christen, you're right. You probably had even more advantage being enrolled in the PG Community College program. It was probably even more like a test run for transitioning over to your actual first year. So how would you ladies say that you balance your academic and social lives? And I know it's, as I think you all expressed earlier, Kai, you had to come home after a week or two. And Nyla, you talked about and Christen as well, you guys had to stay in your rooms a lot. But how would you say you balance the academic with your social life? It sounds like all of you were still able to kind of connect with some people and develop some friendships or at least some networks.
So for me, I was in a living learning community. So everybody that was on the floor, and who I was friends with, we all took the same class, just one class together, but we were all different majors. So that was something that connected us all, and we were able to like spend time together. So we would stay, like, go eat together, and do activities after classes and stuff together. But um, I would definitely say that it was a lot more, well, like towards the middle of the semester when midterms came around, that kind of faded out. And then we picked it back up towards the time where we were about to move out. And well, that was most of my, I would say, my social life. But then clubs were hard to kind of like navigate. I mean, everybody would like have their cameras off or not really talk as much, even though we were all in a club together. But it was just hard to, like, get to know people or make personal connections. Same thing with classes, like you would look for people who could, like, look over your essay or like help you out with a problem or something like that. But that was like still really hard too, because you still like don't have that face-to-face connection. And I didn't realize how important that was until this year. And as an introvert, I think that now I want to increase my face-to-face connection with people. And I think that next semester I hope to, even though the clubs will probably still be online and class will still be online, I hope to increase the amount of people that I meet on campus, so that I can balance the more of my academic and social life.
Makes sense.
So for me, similar experience when it came to housing. My housing was based off of a Stevenson University scholarship called Service Scholars. So they housed us in the same building based on those who had the scholarship, and we did one class together. So it was pretty cool to, like, on Fridays we would meet via Zoom or Blue Jeans, and you'd see the people during the class, and then you like go to the laundry room and you'd be like, oh, you're part of the Service Scholars too. And so that was pretty cool. When it came to clubs, I normally am not very social, but of course, given the situation that we're in now, I realized pretty quickly that it was going to be up to me whether or not I made friends or I chose to get to know people. So for me, I've been a competitive cheerleader for almost 13, 14 years now. And I wanted to join the cheerleading team at Stevenson University. Social media, of course, social media kind of tells you a lot about a person. So I would try and connect with other cheerleaders or people who were looking to become cheerleaders. And that's actually how I met people that I consider friends now.
Wow, that's good. That's good advice. That's a good way that in this world where we're not able to actually physically meet people, utilize social media for that. And you're right, you have groups and different things so you can connect with other people that actually have things in common with you.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes I wish I had more to balance. I didn't have a huge social life to balance this semester, but with what I did have, we tried doing some study groups, and I was really connected with my seminar class, which is really nice. But I think Kristen made a really good point when she said that you have to make the effort. You choose, especially right now, whether you make friends or you don't make friends. You have to really go out of your way right now. And even within the week I was on campus, I had to make an effort too. It wasn't just like I'll see you in class. It's like I see you in the hallway, I'll make an effort, like, hey, do you want to go to one of the, I guess, like the things that they planned tonight or something like that, and just like talking to people in the elevator, talking to people in the laundry room. But I unfortunately didn't really get to have the huge social circle, but I feel like I'm gonna have to really relearn everything when I get back on campus. I feel like I'm gonna have to start at square one in order to get back into clubs and like actually see other people and then actually get to learn the campus. I haven't even really learned the campus. So I just have to really get into that social aspect and start at square one with that. So that's gonna be really interesting. It'll be like I'm a sophomore freshman.
Right. Freshman experience again.
Yeah.
Well, that's good that you brought that up. That's one of the things actually that really impressed us with you ladies, because we can see in all of your essays and your write-ups your resilience, and that all of you have had various challenges in different areas in your life. But as you wrote in your essays, you all demonstrated this uncanny ability to like overcome everything, and this resilience that no matter, we all face challenges in life, but you don't give up. You keep going, you keep pressing, you believe in yourself, and you push forward. And all of you, I believe, are living the success even after your first semester here. You've navigated through this crazy thing, this crazy pandemic none of us have ever experienced, and then to do college in it as well the first year, that's absolutely amazing. So what would each of you say was your biggest challenge? And maybe you've already stated it, but what was your biggest challenge you would say for your first semester?
I'll go ahead and say social, being social, getting to know people that have the same interest as you, and even really getting to know yourself. You really have time to self-reflect now that you're not really around people. You have more time to sit there and really think about what you want to do in life and things like that. Yeah.
That's good.
I would also say my biggest challenge was social. It wasn't, it was more focused on like finding people who had similar values as me. And I would say that was like one of the biggest struggles because there was people who, I mean, we all had the same values of service, but I mean, not all of us had the same like core values. And so I found that really difficult. And sometimes, you know, if you feel out of place. But I'm hoping that next semester, I'll be able to like there'll be more people who come to campus who are like a part of my service learning living community. And hopefully I'll be able to get to know more people and their core values.
That's good. And that's something that, probably, like you said, was even more challenging now because you're not seeing people physically. But even when everybody is back to college, that's always something that is can be a challenge, navigating or finding other people that share your values and especially your core values. So that's a good point.
I'd say that my biggest challenge was staying motivated, truly staying motivated, because there'd be some times where I would spend all 5 days inside or something like that, just like trying to find the time to like really do self-care, and then going outside sometimes and stuff like that. It was just pretty difficult because all my classes are at different weird times of the day. I'm either doing work, I feel the need to finish my work, or I'll have like a late class, and by the time I get to it, finish that class, it'll be dark or something like that. I guess it was just really staying motivated. I listened to a lot of music. I made sure I listened to like some podcasts and stuff like that, just stuff to really keep uh, me motivated and have my mind right, and everything was the biggest thing. Because I don't, sometimes like even looking back, it's like, man, I really got through that. Like that's really over. We really finished this semester, and that was just staying motivated was the biggest one.
I like how Kai said being self-care. A lot of people really take self-care as something being really physical, where it can be really mental. And that kind of takes me back to maybe like 2 weeks before our schedules got finalized. I had actually switched my major from medical laboratory science to computer information systems. And the reason for that was I really was able to, of course, being quarantined and everything, I was really able to, I guess, really look more at myself and see what brought me joy. And that really, I know computer coding is one thing that has always been constant in my life. It's never really changed. So I figured it's best to go with something that I know I'm going to enjoy 10 years from now. I know that's probably going to stay the same for me for the most part. That was really, quarantining really gave me the time to get to know myself. Yeah.
That's such a good point. I'm sorry, were you going to say something? Oh, okay. No, that's such a good point, because you're right. A lot of times we think of self-care as just physical, and that is a part of it. But especially during this time, during a pandemic, and even especially as college students, it's so important that you all have that self-care from a mental perspective and from an emotional perspective to make sure you're healthy and you're doing well and you're in tune with what's going on with you. on the inside. That's so critical. And Christen, you actually answered one of the questions I was just about to ask. What's one thing that you learned about yourself during this during this time or during your first semester? Because we are all quarantined or, you know, kind of closed off from each other, it does allow for a lot of reflection and looking within yourself and soul searching. So what's one thing you would say you learned about yourself, whether it be positive or negative, and what's your response to it?
I learned the importance of breaks, like breaks between class and actually like starting work. So I would get done with class around like 3:30, 3:45. And then sometimes, I mean, well, before the semester started, my thought was like, oh, I'm just gonna go right into doing work so I can just get it done. But then I started, the first time I like took a nap between after school and starting my work, I was just like, wow, all of my work, I could just do it all now. So just there's the break, giving your brain a break and your eyes a break, and basically a restart button on everything is so important. And it definitely helped me stay on task and produce some of my best work.
That's great. Yeah, breaks are definitely important, especially, I don't know how you ladies are, but sometimes as women, we can become workaholics and we try to take care of everything and we go, and we kind of undervalue or don't really realize the significance and the importance of taking a break, decompressing, and really disengaging and just doing something that you like and something that you enjoy before you get back into all the things that you have to do. Okay.
I guess I just learned how capable I am of doing a lot of the work that I just wasn't sure. It's just like a good what is it? It's just really reassured me and everything that I could really do this, because I was a little scared initially because I feel like I have a love-hate relationship with the like math and stuff like that. Like I'm a little scared of like physics and stuff like that. And like I really have to study for like to really be good at math and things like that of that nature. So I was a little scared about testing, and then I was like, how much harder can these exams be than the ones that I'm so used to been taking and everything like that. So when I actually got into it, and even I'd say my hardest class was really bio, just like really time consuming and everything, just like managing my time and then knowing like really what I can do. Like I did pretty well in all the exams. I did really well in like the finals and stuff. I was really scared about midterms and finals because the semester is just so compact. Before you know it, you're at midterms. Next thing you know, you're at finals. And just like doing that for the first time, having to take like 2-hour exams the whole entire week, I didn't know how well I would do on it. I didn't know how prepared I'd be. And just seeing that I could really do this was just such an eye opener. And I'm glad that all this worked out and everything. I think I did pretty well this semester.
That's excellent. That is, I think that's like one of the biggest parts of doing anything that's difficult or challenging. Is part of it is having that confidence and knowing that you're able to do something and you have what you need to be successful. And I think that's a big part of it. And that's one of the things that we were so proud of you ladies about. You all in your own way exude a confidence about yourselves, and that there's nothing that's insurmountable. And even though fear is a natural part of life, and some things we are a little fearful, or maybe we don't feel as confident, or we're uncertain or unsure, but I just really admire how you all keep pushing in spite of that. And oftentimes, as we all end up finding out, we're much more capable of doing more than we realize. And I think sometimes things happen just to show us, that, hey, you can do this, you got it. And so hopefully that boosts your confidence and even going back into this next semester, that you guys go in with even more confidence, even more faith and ease, knowing that you are able to handle it. I mean, if you guys can handle this, you've handled it, all these changes and challenges, even graduating during the pandemic was, that was something to adjust to. And so just really want you all and everyone else to realize you are so much more, you're so capable of handling much more than you probably realize. And I think that's amazing. one of the things I want to ask you all, who are the two people that you would say, because we all know, of course, none of us get where we are on our own or just because, we just did it by ourselves, but we have people around us that support us. We have a community, we have a village. So who would you say have been the two most influential people in your life and also on your academic journey? Because maybe those folks are not the same.
So for me, my mom really has been that driving factor. She's always been really that driving factor for me, lighting that fire under me, making sure that I get going and everything. And then the second person would have to be my older brother. He's always been, even from 7th and 8th grade, he's always been someone that I've always just looked up to. I've always admired how driven he is, how confident he is. So the two of them together, they really have helped shape me to who I am today.
That is awesome. Yeah, mom is usually number one, I think, for all of us. Always supportive, always there, and always there to give us that kick in the pit that we need as well, for sure. And it's nice to have an older sibling or somebody you can look up to and aspire. It sounds like your brother is a awesome person. Nyla or Kai?
This is kind of a hard question, but can I say like 3?
Absolutely, go for
Okay,
it.
so my parents, can they count as one? They really pushed me academically and exposed me to a lot of unique opportunities that helped me to see the world differently at a very pretty young age. And then they also really saw my interests and my talents. They didn't push them away. They used those. They put me in places where I could learn more about what path I would want to take. So I'm interested in emergency management, but I started off interested in weather. And so I was like the kid who went to weather camp um and I what did I went to the National Weather Service one time, just to like take a tour. But as I got older, I was able to really see what path I want to go into, which is disaster management. And so yeah, I think my parents definitely supported me and pushed me towards that goal. And then I have my grandmother. Unfortunately, she is not here today, but she really pushed me to continue to do well in everything that I did, and also to continue to value God in everything that I did, and do everything um, everything academically and things that I did towards my career, to just give the glory to God each time, no matter what. And then lastly, we have God, who really put me in so many different places. It's amazing, really, how He has worked through me. He's put me. I'm like I said earlier, I'm an introvert, but I've been put on the stage to, talk to different people about my passion, which is really mind blowing when I think about it. But that's how I know it's only through God that I'm able to, be in the place that I am now. And yeah, I feel like he's really led me to, like I said, when we had a meeting earlier during the summer, I really think he's led me to UMBC, and I'm starting to really see how um, like that place is really meant for me, and he knows that I'm gonna grow and blossom in that environment.
That's so good. That's definitely our parents, and it's oftentimes for some of us are fortunate to have had influential grandparents as well that played a role in our lives, and we're always there. And of course, God, who's the reason we're all here. He empowers us and strengthens us to do everything that we are accomplishing. So that's excellent.
I guess I'd say it's really been my mom and my dad, for sure. My mom is really who pushed me even to thinking about my major initially. She's been the one who's been keeping me up on scholarships. She's been the one who's always kept me up academically. And just like my parents combined, they've just always been there for me. They've never like they always pushed me, but they never were like restricting or anything like that. Like there's a huge difference when it comes to like pushing your child and then like pushing them over to the edge. There's a whole difference. Like my parents would always say that, the best, like if I know that I did the best that I can do, then that's really all that matters. There's a difference between, because some people are like, you have to have A's, and then they'll get mad at you if you have like one B or something. But I've never had parents that have shamed me for having difficulties, because we all do. We all fail. We all have difficulties, but it's that we get back up. And just learning that from my parents, and definitely having that emphasize that for me, has made me work harder. It's made me more motivated. It's made me want to do better, because I know that I can do better. But it's just having that in my life has been the biggest thing. And I guess for academics, it's also them, but I also had a math teacher that really pushed me, because in middle school, math was like really hard for me, but I was put into like an accelerated program. So I took algebra and I took geometry in middle school, and I took biology in like a lot of high school classes. So then I had to take algebra 1 again, which initially was like, oh gosh, but I'm glad I did that, because it was just the teacher I had definitely reiterated what I can do and what I'm capable of. And it just really made me more motivated. And I'm really glad that I had a teacher like that. And I had her again in high school as well. So just having that support was really good.
That's good. And what I'm hearing from each of you, which is actually it's good advice even to us. Miss Maldon is actually my mom as well, and I'm hearing a lot of things that you all that she said with us. She always pushed us to do our best, and if your best, like you said, Kai, if your best was not an A+, so be it. But as long as you knew that you did your best, and every time you put forth the effort, that's what mattered. That's what was important. And what I'm hearing from each of you even is that you all seems like you guys had really good parents, because they actually invested in you all. And like you said, Nyla, they looked at your interest and tried to expose you more to those things that you needed, that they felt would help you be successful. And so that's even a note to our parents, don't always support, always push your kids to be your best, but also work on exposing them to the things that they're interested in. Because I think that's a big part of it. Sometimes I'm one that believes that everyone has significant value. And if given the opportunity in life, they can do great things, period. Every single person, because we all come into this world with gifts and talents that are meant to benefit the world. And so sometimes people are not able to maximize their potential because they're not exposed to the things that they need to be exposed to, or they're not given the knowledge, they're not given the opportunity. And so I think those are things that are really important. And also the support, of course. I mean, even whether you understand it and agree with it or not, always supporting your kids and pushing them to be their best, I think is really good. So I'm not going to keep you ladies. We won't keep you too much longer, but just a couple more things. What is one piece of advice that you would give to high school seniors, or something that you would say, I wish I had known that or considered this more, anything like that you would say to high school seniors?
Well, this is something that I actually didn't consider until I actually I had planned to do an internship over the summer, but it didn't go that way because of coronavirus. But I wish I had considered this earlier, but I'm sorry, I ended up doing it. But take a summer bridge class, or like a freshman experience class over the summer before your freshman year. So I took a statistics course, and it counted towards my math credit for my major, but the program also talked about a whole bunch of opportunities and offices and things that my school does that I wouldn't have known unless I had taken the class, honestly. And so that really helped me feel comfortable with not only reaching out to people, but it helped me feel comfortable with the college workload online, and then also get me comfortable with the platforms that my school would be using. And so that made it really easy for me to I don't know how to say the word, but move into freshman year where I was taking 6 classes. So that one class really helped me getting like the experience with finals and just time management in general. So yeah, I definitely suggest taking a summer class before you start college.
That's good. Kind of give you that dry run or the experience at a much tamer level. Take one class versus you jump in with a full workload and risking being overwhelmed. That's really good advice.
So for me, it really is three things. The first thing is really to take your time, but not too much time. You really need that balance. The second, well, two things. The second thing is really to learn to appreciate the little things. There's times like even now where I look back and I'm like, what was I doing like during my childhood years? Like when I had time to go outside and play with friends and things weren't just as stressful as it is going into college or even going into the workforce. You really have to learn to appreciate the small things, whether it's people, things. You really need to find that groundness.
That's really good. That's really good to take your time. As a lot of us, when we're growing up, it seems like it's taking forever, and we can't wait to get to that next phase in life. I can't wait till I get my license. Can't wait to drive. Can't wait to get out of the house and go to college. And before you know it, these things are here. And then oftentimes, and for some of us, can't wait to get a job and on my own. And then when you get to having a job, you're like, man, I miss the days where I didn't have to work. I could just rely on my parents for everything. So you're right. That's a good point. Take your time, enjoy every phase of your life because there are benefits to every phase. Enjoy it, don't rush. And like you said, appreciate the things in life. I think in particular during this pandemic, hopefully we've all kind of learned to value our loved ones and those around us and just life in and of itself. Looking at, all the people that have unfortunately passed on from this virus and from other tragedies and things that have gone on in this year. So you're right. Just really be thankful and grateful and appreciative of everything in your life. That's such good advice.
I guess mine would be really open yourself up to opportunities, really stay social and everything, because that'll be a rude awakening when you get into college. Especially a lot of the classes I had required me to get out of my shell, and luckily I've gotten out of my shell over the last couple of years, but it really pushes you. And I had to do a lot of like interviews. I did interviews for my anthropology class. I did interviews for my kinesiology class. I did another interview for seminar. Like they really push you into social situations because it really is up to you. You have to. You can't just let opportunities slip by and stuff. You're going to have to start networking. You're going to have to start presenting yourself and start really introducing yourself to people, because sure, we're all going to end up with a degree, but it's really, what you do with it and really make the most out of the opportunities that you have right now, and especially be prepared for that. So I think that's a good one.
That's really good. Pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone. And that's going to be required at some point in life. And at first it can be a little bit intimidating, or you can be kind of nervous about doing that. But you're right. It's required. If you push yourself a little bit, like you said, you were more introverted, but it's, hey, my social life is going to be dependent on what I make it. So I gotta push a little bit outside of my comfort zone. And oftentimes, I think in all the times that I've experienced that in my life, it's always worth it. While being comfortable is nice and feels good, you can never grow if you're just content to stay exactly where you are. So that's really good advice to push yourself a little bit and realize the benefits. So is there, I just want to kind of give a couple closing kind of highlight a few things that you all ladies really touched on. Focus was really important. All of you and all of your responses seem so focused and like, yep, I know this is what I need to do. Yeah, all of these other things are going on, but it's important that you keep at the center your focus, what you're here for, your goals in life, where you're going, and make sure that you stay focused on that. Also, I heard boundaries, including time management, actually having to discipline yourself to say, okay, this is what needs to be done. I may not want to, may not feel like it, knowing those areas and being able to navigate that to make sure that you get to a successful place. And then also, I think I would say self-care, you know, making sure that you are checking in with yourself. You have a balanced social life, even if that means you got to push yourself a little bit to have a social life, and make sure you're connecting with those that you love and that love you and support you to ensure that holistically you are doing well and will be successful. Is there anything else that you ladies would like to share? Before I open it up, we are super duper proud of each and every one of you and so excited about your future. You are amazing ladies, and we're really excited to see where you end up. I see a lot of greatness in your future. I hope you guys just remember us when you make it big. These successful moguls of the world. Don't forget about 3G. Is there anything you want to add?
I just wanted to say thank you guys. I think this conversation was really great. I feel like it was good closure for the end of the semester. At least, yeah, that's what I felt. And also, just thank you for the opportunity. You know, it was some people just get a scholarship and they, you know, never hear again from them. But, you know, I like that we were able to come back and you guys were really interested in hearing about our experiences and, you know, what worked and what didn't work. And yeah, so thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you guys for agreeing to come back and talk to us. And, you know, like I said, we won't bug you, but we definitely are vested in your future and your success, and know that we are supporting you. We're cheering you on. And if there's any way that we can be of assistance and help and support, please don't hesitate to reach out. And we know that your futures are bright, and I wish you all much success in your future semesters. Enjoy your break during this time. It'll go by quickly, the Christmas break. Before you know it, you'll be back in school again. So enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thank
most
you.
welcome. Take care, ladies.
Take care.
You too. Have a good
Merry
one.
Christmas.
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Happy holidays.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Take
Bye-bye.
care.